didn't see you there. And welcome back to another edition of Midweek Moment with the Crenshaws. I am Sanchez Crenshaw, and as always, I am joined by the most beautiful person I know, the most beautiful soul, the most beautiful smile, the shortest adult I know.
Really?
My best friend forever, the Samantha to my Darren.
Is that Bewitched?
It's Bewitched.
Come on now. He out here quizzing me, y'all. He don't know. Because I don't do a lot of radio and TV. But anyway, what up, family? What is up? I am Angela Crenshaw, guys. What is going on?
Family.
What is going on?
That's my wife, family.
I felt like you was going to go back. Can you please tell these people your name again?
Sometimes you just don't. You just be out here just talking.
Crenshaw. Angela Crenshaw.
And for our new listeners, they may not know who you are.
What up, family? Hi, new listeners. We love you. Hi.
So for our new listeners, we just thank you. However you found us, however you came upon us, you are so welcome to be here. We are so happy to have you. However you're listening to us, whether it's on iTunes, whether it's on Podbean, whether it's on Spotify, whether it's on Google Play, whether it's iHeartRadio, or on our own personal website at www.CrenshawCorner.com.
Yes.
We thank you so much for being a part.
Yes, we do.
And as always, for our returning family members, we thank you guys so much for hanging in there with us.
Yes, welcome back.
We thank you for being here. We thank you for looking for us. We thank you for downloading. We thank you for uploading. We thank you for emailing. We thank you for texting. We thank you for calling. We thank you for Facebooking.
Is it Facebook?
Facebook? I don't know. I
Facebooking?
Call it Facebook.
Okay,
I'm old. I call it Facebook.
You just out here thinking.
So I just thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys.
As always, we welcome you back to the cookout. Hopefully you brought your aluminum foil.
So you can take something with you guys. Take something with you.
One thing we like to do around the Crenshaw Corner is we like to have fun.
Yes, we do.
But we also like to make sure that we're at least imparting some type of wisdom.
Yes.
And so we always ask that you bring aluminum foil so you can take a nugget or two with you.
Yes. And thanks for eavesdropping on our therapy session, because the majority of the time this is our straight up therapy session.
This is so our therapy
session. And so thank y'all for listening to our therapy session and helping us out here.
99.9% of the time, this is a therapy session for Crenshaw. So we thank you for being a part.
Thank you so much.
Babe, what's going on with you?
How you feeling?
I'm doing well. I've been well.
Yes, getting your hair done.
I'm getting my
coming up.
Huh? Yes. Actually, getting my hair done.
Your hair done?
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Dirt.
It's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm. I am doing fantastic. I want to open the door for something.
Okay, talk to me.
So, a couple of days ago, we had a conversation.
We did.
You came through the door, and I said, babe, we need to talk.
The words I hate to hear.
The first thing he said to me was, babe, what did I do? I'm like, babe.
That's always my go-to.
That's like, I'm like, babe. Basically, what did I do now? And I was like, babe, it's not about anything that you did. I just want to communicate something to you. And that's how that and it ended really well.
Yeah, it went well. It went surprisingly well.
So the reason why I'm going to bring that up, because that made me realize that we've evolved in our marriage.
We've grown out here.
We grown. I mean, come on, 20 years. We still, we still babies in the marriage game, but
we still
together. So I think that we evolved, and so I wanted to discuss that, because there was a time that could have went left, and I'm not talking about time like 10 years ago, but
10 months ago.
10 months ago. But I just think, do you feel that we've evolved in our marriage? Where have you seen the change? Basically, where have you seen the changes in yourself in our marriage?
So I think let me start with yes.
Okay.
I have seen change in our marriage.
Okay.
I have seen positive change.
Okay.
Because here's the thing about change. Change can go either way.
Yes, this is true.
There can be negative change.
Mm-hmm.
There can be positive change.
Right.
There can be effective change.
Right.
And there can be non-effective change.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen effective, positive change in our marriage.
Yeah.
Mostly based around communication.
Yeah. Which is
because
huge.
Here's the crazy thing. You and I have no problem talking.
Mm-hmm.
But for the longest time, we couldn't talk to each other.
Exactly.
Which was crazy, because that's not how we started.
Exactly.
To go back a little bit, we started as best friends. We used to spend hours,
all night,
2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, just talking.
And steak and shake.
Yeah, and just talking. And then as we got married, then the conversation started to shift.
Yeah.
the conversation started to change.
Yeah.
The conversations became more personal.
Yeah.
The conversations became more personal attacks.
Yeah.
And then it went from us being able to talk for hours to us only being able to talk for like 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah. Plus, we had some additives. We had children.
Yeah.
You know,
We had
bills.
children,
I mean,
we
we've
had
always had
bills.
children, but it's about when you combine that together, the children,
Yeah.
the bills. We had sick parents, so there was a lot going on.
There was a lot going on. There was a lot of, and just speaking for me, there was a lot of insecurities.
Yeah.
Going on, a lot of second guessing.
Wait,
going
whoa!
on.
What was your insecurities? Like what?
Oh, just in general.
Give me
just
as example.
insecurity of being a person.
Okay.
Insecurity of being a man. Insecurity
Right.
of being a son. Insecurity of being a father. Insecurity of being a husband.
As a whole, then.
As a whole.
Got
it
you,
was just
okay.
it was insecurities that I've been, for the term people like to use, demons I've been fighting since I was a child.
Right. Okay.
To new demons of being a husband, because we've talked about this before. A lot of people, some people know, some people don't, but we are a blended family.
Yeah.
So I went overnight of being a father of one toddler to being a father of four, and which two out of the four were teenagers.
Just up and coming teenagers.
Up and coming teenagers.
Yeah.
So that's a huge thing overnight.
See, that whole becoming a parent of up and coming teenagers make you change your lifestyle and your thought processes. It makes you think, am I really a good person? Because you know what?
Yeah.
Even though I watched them become these teenagers, it make you second guess yourself.
Make you second
You be
guess
like,
everything.
now, am I really a murderer or not?
I mean, what is like really the fine line of child abuse?
Right, like where is it really?
Where is it written that I can research it?
Right.
To see like where is the line between discipline
and beating you up
and the people coming to my door? Where's that line?
Like, what is that line?
Yeah, but it was
yeah.
But I think what happened is, to go back to the original topic as far as like growth. Yeah, because there was a time where I would have automatically got defensive.
Right.
And no matter what you said, I would have only thing I would have heard was Sanchez, you did this wrong.
Yeah.
And that would have been the only thing I would have heard.
Because
you did this wrong.
Yeah.
This is how you're wrong. This is how I don't like you because you're wrong.
Yeah.
And that's all I would have heard.
And the crazy part, because for a long time in our marriage, you was always talking about, you always saying I can never do anything right. I'm always a problem. Everything is always me. And I'm looking at you like, that ain't even what I said.
Yeah. Because
really?
It's crazy how a person can say one thing and
another person can hear something else.
The speaker says one thing,
right?
But
the
listener, the hearer, hears something totally different. And that's what was happening, because what we all do is that I take what you said, but I intertwine my experiences
in there. Yeah,
I intertwine my baggage. I intertwine my thought process,
your past conversations, right?
I intertwine what I thought I heard, not necessarily what I heard,
right?
And so now you say, "Babe, did you pick up the milk?"
Right.
And I hear, you don't never do what I asked you to do. You can't never do nothing right. I just told you one simple thing. You can't never do that right.
You had one job.
You had one job. So something as simple as, well, babe, did you get the milk?
Right.
It's turn into a whole big fight, because now I ain't good enough for you.
Right.
Now you done took my man. I mean.
Right. All these things that didn't even happen.
All these things that didn't happen.
Right.
And that's what used to happen in the early part of our marriage.
Yeah.
The first 15, 17, 19 years of our marriage.
Not 15, 17, 19. Go ahead, baby.
Yeah, is that you would say one thing, but I would hear something totally different.
I think we've evolved too. I think that I am more. In the beginning of our marriage, there was something that part of me that you fell in love with, that aggressiveness,
right?
That tell you like it is and tell you the truth. I think in the beginning, maybe the first 2-3 years, and going in a little bit longer, I would say too, I lost a part of that. I did a lot to appease you, because first of all, you were younger than me.
Right.
I knew this was a challenge coming in with a blended family. I knew that I was aggressive, And again, like you would have to go back and listen to the other podcast, guys. Just binge, but whatever. But I knew that I felt like this was going to be a difficult task for you. So me kind of like dimming my own light for a while, so you could still feel like a man. So you could still feel like, because you were younger than me, so you could still feel like a man. You could still feel like the father and the husband that you are. So a lot of what I would swallow things that I would normally, had we were still best friends, but had we not been having a regular conversation, I would have stopped you in your tracks and be like, first of all, bro, we're not even doing that. So there was a lot of appeasing.
Yeah, and the crazy part,
in the beginning of that,
I never asked for any of that.
No, you never did.
I never asked for any of that.
But it was something in me that felt, for some reason, I'm not sure why, there was never anything that was said. But I think because when I did say something, you felt attacked in that manner.
Right.
So I didn't want to, instead of me addressing that, I didn't want to take that away, Because
I did what a lot of people do in relationships. What was cute and sexy,
right,
going in turns out to be annoying
after
once
5
you're
years
in
of marriage. You're like, okay, whoa.
Because, you're, as they say, you telling it like it is, or you getting people told, or you speaking your mind.
Right.
That was a very sexy quality about you.
Right.
Because it was never directed towards
you.
me.
I wasn't coming at you.
Yeah. Or even like the times where you did feel like you needed to set me straight. We had the conversation. You said what you had to say.
Yeah.
I hopped in my car.
And
I went back to my side of town.
Right. We talk about it next week.
Right.
Right.
And that went from, okay, now all this tell it like a T.I. is and all this aggression.
Right.
Now it's directed towards me.
Yeah.
And all I can do is go in my room. Because now we share the same roof.
So you can close the door that I'm gonna open
that
back
you gonna
up.
Open that because you all disrespectful. I closed the door, you open it.
I don't know somebody closing the door.
Yeah. So and now because we're under the same roof now, all I'm doing is going in the room to get 5 minutes before you come in.
It has something else to say.
It have something else to say. So the whole dynamic changed.
Yeah, it did change. And I think for me, it was like I was always, and like I said, and holding my breath, like there's so much more I want to say and to say. And some of the things I totally disagree with. But I was like, no, he's the head of this house, blah, 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 blah. All of those things that I thought that would, be like, give him an opportunity, give him a chance. We've never been married before. We've never had 4 kids and 2 teenagers and an elementary and a 2-year-old that we were raising. And so we had to really be mindful of that. And I think that that's where a lot of times I got lost in it. Right. But I think that we've evolved because now I need to tell you how I feel and you need to hear me and respond in a way that understands what I'm saying, that I'm not trying to take your manhood, or I'm not trying to tell you like a T.I. is.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of it came with, when I was telling the T.I. is, I think a lot of it came with my delivery, because that's what we talked about the other day when we had a discussion.
Yeah, delivery.
And just to be transparent, I told him, I said, what you said to me, when I asked you a question and you answered me, but you made me feel like the answer that I was giving you was stupid or dumb, or because it didn't make sense to you, meant that it couldn't be done. And so, and that's what he said. He was like, well, this is normally how we talk to each other. So basically say how you said it, because you said you were confused by the way that this is what we normally do.
Yeah, because normally what'll happen is that if we're exchanging ideas, then we open up the door for that other person to say how they feel about that idea.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And the way that my wife and I are built, it has to make sense in our mind.
It does.
For us to fully comprehend it.
And even sign off on it.
And sign off on it. It can't be a situation where we almost understand and be able to wrap. We're not built that way.
Right.
So, and how she was explaining it to me, my mind honestly could not wrap around her thought process. So what I was saying to her was, babe, this doesn't make sense to me. And I made sure I was intentional about to say, babe, what you're telling me does not make sense to me. And because she'll do the same to me. If I say something to her, if I want to do something, or if I have a thought process about something, if her mind can't calculate it properly, she doesn't get it.
Right.
And she'll tell me, babe, that doesn't make sense to me. So I'm thinking that we're having that same conversation. So as I'm saying this to her, what she's hearing is, your idea is stupid, you're stupid, no, I'm not going to do that because it's stupid. So all she's hearing is me calling her stupid and her idea is stupid. When, once again, that's not what I was saying. To me, that's not what I was saying.
Right.
So when she came to me with the conversation, I had to come out of self, and I had to understand, once again, That's her perspective.
Right.
And that's how she felt.
That's how she felt. That's
and
how I felt.
Once again, I can never tell her she's wrong about her perspective. And I can never tell her she's wrong about how she feels.
Right.
Because once again, it's how she feels.
Right. And I explained to him, he said, babe, I'm so sorry. That wasn't my intent. This is what, and he said the same thing to me. And I said, I understand what you're saying, but you know your significant others, and there was a tone, and the way that it was said to me that made me feel some type of way. And because he kept saying that, but it felt like he was just like, I can't even explain it, but I just felt like it just did not feel good, and I felt I felt like what I was saying to him was dumb, or
Right.
it wasn't a smart idea, or whatever the case is. So his delivery threw me off. So it wasn't basically, yes, we do talk to each other like that, but the delivery was so off. So when he came through the door, I was like, we need to talk. So immediately he's like, okay, babe, what I did now. And I said, no, you really didn't do anything. I said, let me tell you how you made me feel. That's how I knew that we had been, without even knowing that we had evolved in our marriage. Because before I would swallow it. I really would. Back in the day, I would swallow it and be like, okay, but I can't swallow anymore. That's because we've changed and we've grown. I'm not even talking about together. I'm talking about individually.
People, yeah.
We've grown, and he's going to have to be secure and know that he's the man of this house, whether I disagree with him or not. I can't coddle or pamper or make him feel like a man. That wasn't my job. And I think the problem was I was too busy trying to make you be a man that you already were.
Yeah,
I was trying to
You were trying to.
Right.
And unfortunately, a lot of men too, because it goes both ways, because we try to help someone into a role that they're
Right.
already in.
They're already in. Mm-hmm.
You can't help me be a man.
Right.
You can't help me be a husband. You can't help me do that.
Right.
That's on me.
Right.
I can't help you be a mother. I
Right.
can't help you. I can't help you be a better mother. I can't help you. I can't
Right.
do that. I can't teach you, because you'll hear a lot of women say, "Well, I got to teach him how to be a man. I got to raise him." No, sis, you can't.
No.
You don't. You can't. You can't raise a man.
Right.
If he's already an adult male, you can't raise him.
Right.
Now you can help him. You can help him understand things better.
Right.
You can help him get a different perspective. But you can't help him be a man.
Right.
That's something he has to do within himself. That's a growth he has to take within himself.
I think too with that, I think that it was a point where I was thumping your growth, because who said you weren't a man? How do I know you would would not be offended by what I say if I didn't say it? So basically, I already capped you at your level. To me personally,
You made an assumption.
I made an assumption exactly
you made an assumption.
that if I say this to him, I'm going to bruise his ego or bruise his manhood or make him feel less than a man. But even though I was trying to do that to you, I was killing me. Does that
Right.
make sense?
That makes sense.
I was dimming my own light, and my light was going from shining so bright to now flickering and being fleeting every now and then, because I swallowed so much on the strength of letting you or helping you be something that you already were.
Right.
So yeah. So I knew that we had evolved. At that point.
I knew we did as well, because that situation was actually a perfect storm for it to go completely
wrong.
left.
Yes.
Because
yes, it was.
It was the timing, because I had just came back from doing a 45-minute run where I did like almost 4 miles, I think. But
previously.
Yeah.
That was the late night run.
Yeah, the late night run.
Uh-huh.
So I had literally walked in the door.
Literally, I was at the counter, y'all, waiting at the kitchen counter.
It was like a whole ambush out here. It was like a whole setup. It's like
at
one
the
of them,
kitchen counter.
It's like one of them real bad 80s action flicks. It was just a whole setup out here. So I had walked in the door, and like only thing I could do was take off my sneakers.
And your hat.
I didn't even think I got my hat off.
No, you took off your hat by the time you got in the chair.
By the time I sat down. And she hit me with a head, "We need to talk." I'm like, yo, I just walked in the door. What'd I do? And like I said before, because, okay, I'm already tired. I'm already sweating. I'm already on edge, like trying to figure out what's going on. So in the past, I would have already been in attack mode.
Yeah.
The moment those words, "we need to talk," came out, my guard is already up.
Yeah.
And I'm already in attack mode.
And I don't just to interject now.
Go ahead.
I appreciate that because before you'd have gave me a certain body language that would have pissed me off already.
Right.
And I would have been like, okay, we about to do this. You know what I'm saying? You didn't even give me that posture. Because normally what heightens me is when I say that to you, there's a posture that you give.
It's a defense posture.
Yeah, and you didn't give that to me. So again, as I'm replaying it in my mind, I know, baby, I can only do that in my mind. I knew we had evolved. I mean, I know we've evolved,
Right.
but that was the real one the other day where we was like, we really have evolved.
Because, and like I said, and to kind of take it back a little bit, so I had an epiphany the other day. You know, I learned something new about myself.
Come on now.
I didn't really know this, but I kind of figured this out the other day. And when I say this, it's going to surprise you. You probably will clutch your pearls.
Okay.
And the family.
Who, me or the family?
You.
Okay.
And the family that does know us, I think they'll probably clutch their pearls as well. But I found out that at times, not often, but a few occasions, I can be a little chauvinistic.
No. I won't be clutching my pearls on that, bro. Pearls not being clutched.
That's not surprising to you?
No, not at all. Cause you are.
Oh wow. I can.
You can
a little
be.
A little.
No, I won't say a lot, but I will say medium.
Wow, whole medium out here. No, okay. So understanding. Nature versus nurture.
Why are you pointing your finger like at the
Just
family?
saying.
They're not even here.
Nature versus nurture.
Uh-huh.
So I grew up. My biggest male influence growing up
His granddad
was my grandfather, my maternal grandfather.
Yes.
He was my biggest male influence. Loved him with everything I have, always will. Best part of my life, always happened, always will be. But he was from that generation of the man said so.
Right.
He was from that generation.
Right.
Where understand, he never disrespected my grandmother. He cherished my grandmother. He loved my grandmother. But the man had the final word.
I don't think he had to because that was an unwritten rule.
Yeah,
that they both
from
knew.
that generation.
From that generation,
Yeah,
so I don't think he wouldn't have to do that. Right.
So, but it was the man had the final say so.
Right.
You know, and it was the man's word was law.
Right.
And that's the doctrine, for lack of a better term, that I grew up in.
Right.
Of course, I evolved in different ways from that, but there's still a piece of me and a part of me
absolutely.
that still kind of holds on to that.
Right. And should be.
Yeah. So what
in
happens?
some areas, yeah.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
what happens is when you start telling me something, and I get defensive, and I don't think I've ever told you this before, but a part of me is like, "How dare you?" Like,
you done made me sit up. Hold
Yeah.
on, bro. Let me sit up. I was slouching a little bit. Let me sit up.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
But I'm just once again just being
I'm
honest.
here for it.
A piece of me is like, how dare you? Like, you don't have a right.
Come on, wow.
You don't have a right to tell me. Do you not know who I am?
Oh, good God.
You don't have a. How dare you, woman? If you don't go to your place and understand who you are.
I'm the wife. Huh?
Yeah, you the wife.
The wife, not the
wife.
wife.
And I need you to be in the wife's place.
Okay, cool.
Now I said what I said. You take it
and go about your business
and go somewhere.
Right.
But realizing that's not really a healthy way to look at life. And B, I ain't personally got the wife for that. And so I'm always fighting with that. And
But but this is the crazy part, babe. But I think a part of me, when we were just talking about me dimming my light and stuff like that, and making sure that you shine at all times to dim my own light, was part of that. I think was part of that because because I will be like, okay, he said no, because the rule around here is if Sanchez say no, if Daddy say no, is no.
I mean, no.
There's no what you no. It's never been that way. Yeah. So
I don't believe in that. Say no, but you really mean yes.
Right.
I don't believe in that.
No. So for me, with that unsigned or whatever word you want, unwritten rule, I thought that was still for me too, right? And so once you said, "Baby, we're not gonna do this," okay. Like I didn't want, because there was so much of me that was trying to appease you. Like if you didn't want to do something, and this is true,
right?
If he didn't want to go out and do anything, guys, I didn't go. I did not go. Now, here's the funny part about that. That didn't come from him. That came from my mom and my dad. Because if my mom wanted to go somewhere and my dad didn't want to go,
they didn't go.
They didn't go. My mom would not go. Even if she felt like she wanted to go and it would have been a good time and blah, 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 she just would not go. So some of that residue from my parents kind of rubbed off on me. So when you gave me that kind of situation, I think my God, thank you, Holy Spirit. You kind of triggered my memory of my dad, because sometimes you still do remind me of my dad,
right?
And trigger that part of me, and I'm like, okay, well, it's okay, and blah 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 blah. Because parts that I did take from my parents' relationship and their marriage for almost 40 years. Almost 40 years. There was some good things to take from that, but then there was some things that 40. We had no business.
No, it's over 40 years because little brother 40.
He's older than 40.
Yeah, so it's like 40, 43, 44
Yeah,
years.
Right. I think before he passed, it would have been about 43. I think it's been about 43 years. And but so there was some good things that I needed to take, and there was some stuff I needed to have left at the door. But I think that's the same thing with you. There were some good things that you need to take and some things that you need to leave at the door. So I think a lot of times I kind of dimmed my light and was like, well, he said no and blah, blah, blah. And then there was a part of me, certain things I was like, nah, bruh. Yeah, I'm going outside. I'm going to leave you here. Yeah. I got to go. I'm not doing this.
Yeah, you're right, because like the caring that my grandfather had for my grandmother, for his family in general, the caring, the love, the openness, those are the qualities that I take, that I will always have. But once again, my grandfather was a because I said so do.
And that's you.
And it didn't matter who it was. It was from because I've said this before. My grandfather, before we had multi-campuses and before we had connected churches and all this, my grandfather was the originator of that. He was doing 4 churches at one time.
Driving to the churches.
In 4 different cities. And, 2 in North Carolina, 2 in South Carolina. I mean, he was, everywhere.
Right.
And had his fingerprint and paw print on all of it.
Right.
So no matter who it was, adult, wife, kids, what I say. And I took that. And a lot of the times what happens with me in our conversations, I just be wanting to say because I said so, and leave it at that.
Right.
Not realizing, you a whole adult out here.
Please say for the people in the back. Can you just say for the people in the back?
You are not one of my kids.
Hello.
You are a whole adult out here.
Right.
You are a partner in this firm.
Right.
You're not a junior partner. You are a founding member in this firm.
Right.
But I just be wanting to say because I said so. And what happens is because that's what I'm thinking and that's what my heart is saying, that demeanor you were speaking about earlier, that demeanor comes out because I give you that posture of because I said so posture. And that's, wow. I'm a jerk sometimes, and I apologize about that. I'm sorry. But that's one of the things that we've evolved in, or personally I've evolved in. Because even though that monster still, or to quote my favorite pastor, that chatterbox, to quote that, that chatterbox is saying, dude, why are you doing this? Why are you having this conversation? Just tell her because you said, tell her to shut up. Because you said so. Don't she know who you are? Man, just put your foot down. Just make her. So I'm dealing with, and so what happens is because I'm never going to say that to you. And it's not because I'm scared of you or anything like that, but I would never disrespect you in that manner. And so because I can't verbally say it, so my body demonstrates it.
Your body does.
And then like you said, so as soon as my body starts demonstrating that, now you take something that could have been 1 level. So you started on a 1.
I was on a 1.
You were on a 1. You were doing good.
You done gave me that body language.
But now that body language kicked in. So that one situation that could have been a 10 or 15 minute conversation has now went to DEFCON 9. And now we're a week into an argument.
And I think too, what I've learned too is because it's like I don't want to be the angry black woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, now when you give me that posture, because I'm ready. My neck, my head, my neck, my back, my throat. I'm clearing everything, bro. Because who are you? So also saying, okay, I don't want to. So I'm running like you. I'm running this chatterbox. It's like, first of all, I know this joker ain't going to come up in here, popping his neck, getting his posture, because I said I want to talk. What is that upset about? That's what that's saying to me. Girl, get ready. You know, that's what it's saying to me. But the other part of me is like, that when I knew we evolved, because when you didn't give me that posture, I was like, okay, let me empty my cup, because that's our favorite line now. Let me empty my cup. When we talk to each other now, it's like, let us empty our cup and not assume what each other is going to say, because that's where we make a whole lot of mistakes at.
Right.
And so, and it was just so different, because you said to me, baby, that wasn't my intent. I said, well, this is how you made me feel. You said I apologize for making you feel that way. I said, I completely understand. And the greatest part about that whole conversation is what went from you saying, well, the reason why, because you went more into it, the reason why I think it's not a good idea, babe, we can still do it, but can we do it longer?
Right.
Not 5-6 seconds, because the time that it takes to do everything that you're asking me to do. And I heard that, and I was like, okay. So there was a compromise on both our ends, and that's when I was like, yo, we have done really well. But the crazy part, we've been doing very well for a couple of years, but it was just about that one piece that came to my mind. I was like, wow, we've been doing very well, because anybody who knows the Crenshaws and have listened to us on this podcast, we have said it time and time again, we're explosive people.
We are.
And because we got... One gotta back down. It's gonna be a problem.
I would even say downright volatile
Yes,
sometimes.
yes. And so because we know that about each other, we are very mindful how we handle each other, what we say to each other, and then we know how to say pineapple.
Yeah, pineapple. I think also what helped in that situation, speaking from my aspect, is that at no time did I try to defend myself.
I didn't really, you did not.
At no time I didn't try to defend my actions. I didn't try to defend. Now, what I did was I clarified.
Right, you did.
I clarified my statement, and I clarified my actions, but I didn't defend my actions.
And you gave a solution.
And I gave a solution. Because what happens is, whether we realize it or not,
yeah, that's good.
Anytime, the only thing that's ever going to come from defense is an attack. That's it. That's the only thing that's ever going to come from defense, is that, because to have defense, there must be opposition. Or you're not defending against anything. If there's no opposition, it's not defending.
It's not defending.
So what happens is, within human nature, if you're in a conversation with someone, the moment that person you're speaking with starts to defend, whether you realize it or not, you start to attack.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I didn't want to open the door for that.
Right.
Because if I would have started defending myself, then you would have started attacking.
Right.
Now you'd have said, okay, but this is what you did, and now this is what. And now a situation, like I said, a 15 or 20 minute conversation would have turned into a full blown argument.
Right.
Because I chose to defend myself,
right.
and instead of, and there's another thing about the defense posture. A defense posture is protection. So you automatically close up.
Right.
Now you close yourself
Shutting
off.
down.
You shut down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because now you've closed yourself off to attack.
Right.
So if you try to hit my ribs, I can block it. You try to hit my face, I can block it.
Right.
I'm in blocking mode.
Right.
But because I didn't do that, I left myself open.
Right.
So once I'm open, now I'm open to hear better.
To hear what you say.
To hear what you have to say, to
Right.
hear your perspective.
Yeah.
And that's what we were able to do.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that we both said the other day, when this conversation originally started, when you came through the door, and you was like, but babe, I was saying this to you, but you kind of closed me, shut me down, and you got mad. And so I said to you, babe, I was not mad. You was like, well, that's how I took it. I said, babe, sometimes because when people say stuff to people, the only word we think we can say is mad. And I said I wasn't mad. My feelings was hurt. And there's a difference. But sometimes because we're not articulating it, the only thing, if somebody do a high-pitched voice or go silent or whatever, oh, so you're mad now. Mad, because everything is about being mad.
That's the default.
That's the default. Mad.
That's the default emotion.
Mad and angry. And I was like, no, my feelings are hurt because I felt like what I was trying to tell you, you made it sound like it was a stupid idea. And I think that was another thing, because now I'm determined, no matter what, to use my voice. I'm determined to tell you how I feel. Your manhood's gonna have to be okay. Your ego gonna have to be okay. Your pride gonna have to be okay. But one thing I will never ever do is disrespect you.
Right.
But I do have to not harvest this, because then that becomes resentment. and that because we've in contentment, you know. And I want to be able to be that best friend we've always been. I would still want to be your girlfriend, whatever. We was never boyfriend girlfriend, but your girlfriend enough to tell you what I feel, and you respect it and know that I mean you no harm.
And that's the one thing and that's the one thing that couples have to be very careful about, because even though in a different circumstance, a different situation, I know that you mean me no harm. But when you're caught up in that moment, you're not rationally thinking.
This is
and
true.
that's the one thing we have to be very careful about.
Absolutely.
Take that rational thought into that situation, because if in that moment I'm thinking rationally, I know that you're not trying to hurt me.
Right.
I know that you're not trying to disrespect me. I know that you're not coming against me. I know that what you're doing is giving me your perspective.
Right.
Now, to think about perspective, I don't have to agree with your perspective.
Come on now. Come on,
I don't have to agree with the way you see things.
Right.
I don't have to agree with the way you think about things.
Absolutely.
But what I do have to do is two things I have to do. I have to listen.
That's right.
And I have to respect it.
Exactly.
Because once again, it's your perspective.
Right.
Now, also one thing that we get twisted, and Cat Williams said this before in one of his comedy specials. It's like, so I messed up your self-esteem, the esteem of yourself. But we try to tie that in. It's like, you know, like you said, because you didn't want to lower my manhood, you wouldn't want to mess with my pride, you didn't want to mess with my self-esteem.
Right.
But you shouldn't be able to do that anyway.
Right.
You know, that's myself.
That's your stuff.
That's my stuff.
Right.
I have to work on mine, because my thing is this: if you're telling me something that's meant for good, if you're edifying and not tearing down,
that's right.
And I get upset about it, that's a me thing.
Yeah, that's a check.
That's not a you thing.
Yeah.
Now it's different if you're being disrespectful.
Right.
If you're coming out your mouth sideways, that's different.
Being intentionally hurting
intentionally
you.
hurtful.
Yeah.
That's different.
Hurtful.
That's a
Right.
different
Absolutely.
conversation we have to have.
Right. That's a fight. But anyway.
Yeah, that's I'm gonna throw a water balloon at your forehead. That's what that is. But if we're having a healthy debate where you are genuinely, heartfully giving me things that you see within me, because as the closest person to me, you can see things in me that I can't see sometimes.
Absolutely. And
because
vice versa.
Vice versa, because that's also a fact that I think people forget. It's called a blind spot for a reason.
Right.
When you're in your car, there's certain areas in your car you can't see because you're too close to it. You're in it.
Right.
There's certain blind spots with myself I can't see because I'm in it.
Exactly.
It's me.
Exactly.
So there's certain things about me that as my spouse, as my best friend, you see.
As your helpmate.
As my helpmate, you see.
Right.
So you come to me with that. Now, when you're coming to me once again and you're edifying me and you're helping me and you're telling me things about me that you see.
Right.
And once again, if I get offended by that or if I get defensive, that's not a my spouse thing.
Right.
That's a me
that's
thing.
A you thing. That you feel like you're being attacked. And I think that's another thing. Again, going back to, you never told me to dim my light. You've never told me to I can't say what I want to say. But your demeanor, your delivery, made me feel like I could not. And again, stumping your growth on my own by saying, okay, he's young, you know, we got 4 kids, we're a blended family, blah, blah, blah. He can't handle it. That's me stumping your growth. Not even, I think sometimes when we have a tendency of doing that without even giving you a fair chance or a fair shot
to see if I can even do it.
To see if you can even do it. I automatically want to protect and cover, or, you know what I'm saying? And so, scared, or I think it's my own thing. Like, what if he do fail? Then do I gotta leave him? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like, be like, what if he fail at this? Oh crap! Did I pick the right dude? You know, all this stupid stuff that you start thinking in your mind. So when I think about that, then that's more me than you. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to make sure that you don't feel less than a man, or you don't feel attacked, or you don't feel overwhelmed, so where you may fail. So I want to protect you, but that's not my job.
Right.
Your job is to be the husband and the man and the man of the house. My job is to be the wife and the mother of the house. You know what I'm saying? So I think I stumped you at your growth when I was doing that in the beginning. I think I didn't give you an opportunity, but when I did, that was it. You ran with it.
And like most people, you have to understand, you have to be very careful with that. Because if you stop me from doing something for a long period of time,
you're not going to do it.
I'm not going to do it.
Right.
I'm not. Because you shown me that you want to do it.
Or you don't trust me with it.
Yeah, you don't trust me with it. So good, bad, or indifferent, call it what you want. Call it being prideful, call it what you want. But if you want me to do the dishes and you never give me the opportunity to do them, or every time I do them, you come behind me and redo them.
Like the pillows.
Yeah, like the pillow. I'm gonna stop
like the
doing
pillows
it.
on the bed.
You just gonna have dirty dishes in the sink, and now you mad that I don't do dishes.
Right.
But every time I did them, you showed me that it was not correct. That it wasn't good enough for you.
I was gonna say good enough for
you.
Yeah, right.
Because and one thing I think a lot of people make a mistake on is that, and this is something that's taught in basic communication. The huge part of communication is nonverbal. It's once again, it's nonverbal.
That's right.
It's how you respond, how you act, your body language. It's not what you say. It's what your body's saying. It's your actions, what you do. So and I know I'm taking something mundane as dishes, but if I do the kitchen and then every time I do the kitchen, you come behind me and redo it, or you mumble under your breath, well, I might as well have done it to begin with, and this ain't right, and this ain't right.
Right.
So why am I doing it? Because you're telling me, your body language, your nonverbals are telling me that I don't know what I'm doing, that my standards are lower than yours.
Right.
So, and like you said, it's not good enough.
Right.
So I'm going to stop doing it.
Stop doing it.
And that goes in everything from finances to affection to what I say to you, how I treat you. If what I'm doing and you keep telling me or showing me that what I'm doing is not good enough, after a while, I'm just going to stop doing it, especially if we're not having the conversation.
And I think I would say that's the whole thing, because you're not having the conversation. Because I think we've ran into that as well in certain places in our marriage where I just was like, I'll just do it myself. Like, why did he put them pillows like that? And then I had to get to a point where it was like, girl, step back. Let the pillows be okay. However he put them, let him put them. Because I think I always laugh at you, because one thing about you, when it comes to stuff like that, especially in the house and doing stuff, you'll be like, I live here too, you know. So, and he would say all the time, so I'm like, okay, you know what? Let them pillows stay like that. Let me leave these pillows alone, Jesus. Let me leave them alone.
I'm going to kip up for the dudes for a second real quick.
But it's 6 pillows that should go in
But here's the thing. What I found, and I get it, it's because how the hierarchy has been set up, and I get it. And women, most of the times, are the one who's decorating, takes care of the home. I get that.
Yeah.
But I live here too.
I know, baby.
It's my home too.
You're absolutely right.
Maybe I like the pillows in the order I put them in. And maybe it's pleasing to me. Maybe aesthetically it's pleasing to me.
Right.
So why can't I have that? Why does that have to be an issue? If I make the bed a certain way, if I wash the dishes a certain way, if I clean the bathroom a certain way, if I fold the clothes a certain way, as long as I'm doing it.
You're good at those things, so this is really not a good analogy for
you.
No,
I'm just saying. Because what happens is
you're right.
Yeah, you have to be careful, because sometimes spouses will put their spouse in a no-win situation
and make them feel like that. Like, again, going back to they're not good enough. I think that was one of the eye openers when you kept saying to me, like, "Babe, I live here too." I think one of the and I know you did it on purpose. I know this is a midweek moment, so we're not gonna be before y'all long. But I remember for like 2 days we make up the bed.
I sure did.
That thing.
Didn't even attempt to make it.
Oh Lord, y'all.
Didn't even touch a sheet.
Let me explain something to y'all. If you get out of a bed up in this piece, I need you to make it. I don't care. We're not even going nowhere. And I think, did you do that on purpose?
I did.
Oh, that tore me to pieces. Oh,
because it's my house. It's my house as well.
I know.
And I didn't want my bed made up.
So leave your side unmade. He did the whole, but y'all.
I left it unmade.
Ooh, that thing 2 days, and I had to go, Angela. It's not that deep.
Yeah, because
Angela,
you know what happened?
Not that deep.
Those 2 days when I didn't make up the bed, the sun still went up and went down. The moon still came up and went down.
Really?
We still went to work and came back.
Oh,
we still ate. I mean, it's
just me. Yeah. It's just me. But at that point, hearing him say that, I was like, okay, and this is his house too. He's right. So if that's how he like it, that's how that he likes it. And that was something I had to grow into, because there's this particular picture that that I inherited from him in the marriage. Amen.
Family.
And so he said,
at a point in my life, family, I purchased 3 pieces of art. It's not good art. I'm not gonna lie. It's not good art.
It's art. It's art. Mm-hmm.
It's 2 companion pieces.
Yes.
It's a set in kind of a jungle setting with a gentleman.
It's a bachelor pad.
What?
Pictures.
Well, it's one with a gentleman and a lion.
Naked.
Yeah, okay.
The bushes was covering him.
The bushes. It was Adam. It's basically Adam and Eve.
Let's go with that. Mm-hmm.
So one side you have Adam with a lion, and the other side you have Eve with a panther. I believe.
It's a panther. Mm-hmm.
So it's 2 companion pieces. But the third piece,
we went ahead and put those in the garage.
Yeah, actually, no, gave them
No, I'm talking about before that when we first initially bought, when we first inherited those beautiful pictures.
But it's one piece that I had that I really loved. It was set in purple, and it was a chessboard. It was an abstract chessboard.
It was,
and I absolutely love this piece of art.
He did.
Now, understand, when it comes to the home, even though I don't really have a say-so in how things go around the house. I don't.
You do so.
Decor, furniture, I really don't. All I get to do is move it.
Babe, you put the Crenshaw Corner studio together.
The way you wanted it. You picked out the chairs. You picked out the logo. I put everything together the way you wanted it.
Go ahead, babe. Go ahead.
All I get to do is move it. But there was this one piece that I loved. I just really loved this one piece. And I just wanted this one piece to be in my home that I share with my loving wife because it was my favorite piece of art.
Because it was in his house.
Yeah. So my wife took my piece, my beautiful picture, and made it a toilet picture.
No, listen.
And hung it over the toilet.
Listen, because he said
she made it bathroom art.
Just wait.
It's what she did.
It was a talking piece if you went to the bathroom. It was a talking. It was a talking piece. Like,
and every place
it was a conversation
in,
piece.
Every place we lived in, my piece of art always found its way over the commode.
It was like,
I didn't want it there. But she told me, if it's going to be in my house, that's the only place it can be. Because
it didn't go with the decor, babe. It matched with nothing in the house.
It went with my decor. It went with the decor that I liked.
Where?
I don't. Actually, at this point, where is my painting at this point?
It's in the garage with the rest of the paintings.
Wow.
Well, here's the thing, babe. We went from 3 bedrooms to 1 bedroom, 1 bath. And there's nowhere in this house to put that picture.
But just one thing, and we're not gonna be before family long.
I'm just saying.
Because we're wrapping this up. But I got a question.
Yeah.
Just a small one.
Oh yeah.
Name one thing in here. Just one.
Yeah.
That was my original idea. Just name one.
The bedroom set, the blanket, the pillows, the sham. You bought all of that. Hello?
The linen. The linen.
No, but you said, wait.
So out of all the decor that we have in this house, family, pray for me.
I'm just saying.
Family, if you know the word of prayer. Family, if you believe.
No, I'm wrong. And also the way our bedroom is set up now, the way with the baskets for Pooh side of the Pooh's bedroom, his crib.
That's only because I had to literally destroy the dresser. I had to, and when I'm not talking figuratively speaking, I had to literally dismantle and throw away the dresser. That is the only reason you did that.
I did not want to get rid of my dresser. But he took it on the patio and beat it to death. So by the time I came back, it was gone.
Family.
I'm not gonna be bitter.
Family.
But I'm just saying.
Family.
So, but I'm just,
family.
The point is, I don't know how we got down this rabbit hole.
If you don't
but
know
we've
the word
evolved.
prayer, family, read Matthew. read the book of Matthew to learn how to pray properly. And then once you read the book of Matthew to learn how to pray properly,
put your name in it.
Please say a prayer for me.
I'm just saying, but I think that we have grown.
No, we have
so much, and
we have grown,
and we're still growing,
and we're still growing.
And we're still growing.
Yeah.
every single day because we're changing so much.
Yeah.
Because things are changing, life is changing. We're evolving. We are becoming. I believe personally, because I've seen you evolve. I think that we're becoming a better us individually, and I think we're becoming a greater us corporately as a married couple. Yeah, and and that's what it is. So yes.
What's your final thought, babe?
I love you.
That's your final thought.
When we get a bigger house, I'll put your picture back.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that.
I love you.
I don't. You telling me lies right
I
now.
love you with all my heart and soul. My heart and soul. Heart and soul.
So my final thought is really simple.
Yes.
Family, take the time to learn this version of your spouse. You've never dealt with this version of your spouse.
Right.
You've never dealt with a 2020 and a September 2020 version of your spouse because they evolve every day.
Yeah.
Every day they change. Every day their likes changes. There's a slight change in their personality.
And their body.
And their body.
Everything.
What they appreciated last year, they may not appreciate this year.
Yeah.
What brought them joy a month ago may not bring them joy now. So my final thought is just take the time to learn this version of your spouse, and then act accordingly from there.
Come on now, come on.
So that's gonna be my final
almost
thought.
snapped. Go ahead, baby.
So family, as always, we just thank you guys for
we love
being
you so
with
much.
us. We thank you for listening. We thank you for allowing us into your home.
Yes.
However you're listening, whether it's on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio,
come on
or
now,
on our own personal website at www.thecrenshawcorner.com.
Yes.
We are interactive. That means we can be found on the socials.
Come on now.
We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. All in the Crenshaw Corner.
Yes, we
and you
are.
can always email us at thecrenshawcorner@gmail.com.